Captain Del Dye, who ran the training for us, he's a friggin' genius when it comes to this stuff. There's that sort of that Hell Week, boot camp that we went through. I always equate it to like Hell Week in football, where you go through this just horrible week of training together, and through that horrible week, you actually bond together because you really start to depend on each other. You've shared this horrific thing together with a common enemy who became Captain Dye in the end, which is basically the proxy for Sobel. And by the time you come out of the other end, you are so tight in the group, you don't even know what happened.
Let's talk about the training. Were you prepared for that?
Yes, no. I'm very. At the time, I think, 35? I'm a 35-year-old grown man with kids and a house and a wife. At the time, I'd been with my wife for, I guess I'd been with her together for 15 years at the time, married for 10 at the time. Now I'm going on 20.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I'm an adult, and then you show up with this thing, and this guy's going, "All right, you fucking scumbags, you're a piece of shit." I'm like, dude, really? Really? I'm a piece of shit scumbag. Get on the fucking ground, and you're fucking assholes. You're fucking not gonna ever amount to anything. I'm like, dude, really? Okay. And you kind of do. You process in your head, and you go, all right. What am I going to do? All right, I'm here to do the project. We're here about the other men. You know what? This is going to be fun if you let it be fun. So just do it. So you become the scumbag piece of shit asshole who doesn't know anything, and you go, fine, I'll do your push-ups. And you buy into it. And you know what? That's the only way it works. I remember at one point I had gotten... they were just kicking our asses. We were running, some guys were really equipped for it physically, and some guys weren't. Some guys were 25, 22, 25. Some guys were, 35. Myself and Neil, I think, were the older end of, Neil McDonough, were the older end of the American actors. And there were some special ability actors from the UK who were older as well, a couple of them. But, some of these guys are really fit, so the physical end of it was not that big of a deal. But there were a lot of different elements to it. For me, the physical stuff, the running was brutal. I have horrible knees. I don't run, unless I'm being chased.
Right, yeah.
It's like, really? All right, we're doing 5 miles today. Really? I'm a piece of shit? I'm a freaking loser? Now I'm running 5? Really? This is...
Where's the incentive?
Oh, dear God. All right. And Rick Gomez, who's my bunkmate, we kind of pulled each other through it. But at one point I'd gotten food poisoning right when I got to England. Oh. And we got in 2 weeks, 3 days before we had to start shooting. We started shooting first. So we had 3 days to kind of hit the ground and kind of, get adjusted to the jet lag and stuff. And then after 3 days, we were going to go off to do a 2-week boot camp. And I'd gotten sick. I'd gotten food poisoning. So we're about 2 days into boot camp, and I get pulled aside by the captain, and he's like, son, I just want you to know that we're all aware about your surgery, and, your stomach, you have any issues, you just let me know, and we'll pull you out of the running. And I'm thinking, all right, so he's got some really, really wrong information about me. He doesn't think that I can do any of this stuff because he thinks I've had surgery. Now this could go one of two ways.
Right, you could either play it like I'm not going to run ever, or it's like, okay, I got the shits and leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. There are no stitches, no nothing. They did call a doctor, and it was actually pretty bad. I was laid up for 2 full days, but there was no surgery I was recovering from. So I, of course, told him. I said, sir, I didn't have surgery. I had food poisoning. He's like, food poisoning? God damn it! Get back in line. Like, no, I'm not the one who made up the surgery. You're the one who did. Why are you yelling at me about it now? All of a sudden, I became the guy trying to get out of it because of some imaginary surgery.
Oh God, that's awesome.
So, no, I had a blast, and for me, it was great. Learning that, getting that familiar with all the weaponry, getting that familiar with all of the the other men. As everyone's told you before, we dressed everybody by rank and by our character names in the show, and we advanced in the boot camp. It was this very, very fast track type of situation, whereas the first 2 days were all basically doing all the stuff together, and by day 3, the people who were higher in rank were starting to get pulled out and being put in charge of stuff. Now you're being put in charge of stuff that you don't know what the hell you're doing. It's like, all right, take charge of your platoon and go capture that flag, and you're like, take charge of who? You get everything explained to you, as you go, and I got to tell you, there's something that makes it stick with you, and you do not forget what you are trained when you are trained in that way. They don't expect you to know everything. They expect you to fail. They expect you to fail big time. But when within those failures, it's indelibly imprinted on your brain what you did wrong and what you need to do, because you got somebody screaming at you, scaring the hell out of you. And if you let yourself go there, it is a terrifying situation. We're going on 3 hours of sleep a night. The food is horrible. The conditions are horrible. You're all in it together, so you're all in between making jokes and bonding. But you have this force of this cadre, these guys training us that are behind you, screaming at you the whole way and making you better at what you're doing every minute. And by the end of 2 weeks, we're marching in formation and doing all this stuff. I can't even explain the amount of stuff that was shoved into our heads in that 2 week period. And probably, all of us, if we got together, probably 60 to 80% of it is still there, just because of the way it was shoved in. And once again, credit to Captain Dye, who I hope you guys get to talk to, because he's just a great storyteller. If nothing else, he would be able to recount everything that we went through in a very dramatically satisfying way. He really is Tony Robbins with a gun.
I've never heard him described as that way. That's awesome.
That is my description of him.
Tony Robbins with a gun.
Tony Robbins with a gun. He is a motivator of men.
Well, he has been scheduled and committed to September 1st. So if you're back on the couch at that time, I hope you're listening, and we're trying to invite as many people from the cast to do that, so they can all call in and bother him. Now that you're not under the fear of running more.
Well, we're always under the fear of running more. I mean, he's the captain.
Well, true. I said, go give me 5 miles. Like, sorry.
It's like, all right. I don't think there's any one of us who, if he didn't turn and say, drop and give me 10, we wouldn't do it. So.
Well, that's probably true. I would probably do that as well.